Make some wild garlic bread, and I'm going to talk you guys through it. Here are our raw ingredients. So we're starting with 500 grams of flour, some wild garlic we picked earlier, some fast action dried yeast. We got 1 teaspoon of honey, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 300 milliliters of lukewarm water. Start off with the flour in a mixing bowl. And then you want to add all the dried ingredients, so add the salt and the yeast. You need to add the olive oil and the honey and the lukewarm water in a well in the middle. Now we're at the stage where we can't actually mix anymore. I want you to get your hands in. So now we're going to actually knead the dough. So first we want to gather it together and start pressing it down using body weight to get the dough into a solid ball, picking up any loose pieces of dough from the worktop. So at any point, and this gets a bit too sticky, we can add a small amount of flour just to keep it together, but you don't want to add too much more flour because that will affect the actual dough. So keep kneading and stretching until the dough feels soft and it actually bounces back. And then I'm going to put it into an oiled bowl, and we're going to leave that to rise for about an hour until it's doubled in size. 120 grams of butter, 2 garlic cloves, some wild garlic, and we're going to chop up the garlics and put them into the butter. And that is the wild garlic butter ready to be put onto the bread later. So now the dough has risen and it's doubled in size. We're going to knock it back and then divide it into 15 balls. And then I've greased this tray with some of the wild garlic butter we made earlier. So now that they have had their first rise, we're going to give them a second rise for half an hour. And once they have doubled in size again, we're going to put them straight into the oven. So I seem to have lost my helpers, but that's fine because the bread has had its second proof. And as you can see now, it has nearly doubled in size again, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the wild garlic butter on top of the rolls, leaving a little bit extra for later, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 220 for about 20 minutes until they're nice and golden brown.